everyone, this is Chris for MI Radio and welcome to MI Generation, our 1 hour weekend talk show. I always have amazing guests on our show. They share with us all their lives, interesting stuff and their work. And it's a colorful experience of what happens in Yangon and beyond, in basically Myanmar and beyond. So for those who recognize my guest, my very special guest next to me is actually Kyae Mone English from VOA. We talk about, when I talk about my media career and stuff like that, I can't hold a candle to Kyae Mone, who's right next to me. She's been making these amazing lifestyle videos and language sharing videos for a while now. So on our show today, we get to ask Kyae Mone all about her show, her life, and all these funny stories of coming back here and living in the States and all of that. So let's start off our show today, Ma. I just want to know, you hold a few channels. So what are these channels that you actually, put together videos for?
So I first started off on YouTube and Facebook. Well, I would say Facebook was my original name, Kaye Lin, and that was the name that's on my passport. That meant I was born as Kyae Mone, right? So Kyae Mone meaning mirror. And then so when I was leaving Myanmar at age 5, the officers misspelled my name and wrote, instead of Kyae, he wrote Kaye. So my name forever became Kay. And Baba, my father, he saw it and he said, "Thank you so much," and we left the country. So my name forever became Kay. But I always feel like I have such I would say like an identity crisis, Chris, just because of what is my name really?
So because when I met you for the first time, I got away with the name Kay.
Yeah.
Then I looked up your content online and it was Kyae Mone, right? So I mean I didn't know that you had a misspelled name on your passport, which is stuck with you now. But I mean it's interesting because you used the word Burglish, right? And this kind of coming together two languages happen a lot around the world. You have Spanish and English, you get Spanglish. When you speak Chinese, you get Chinglish. And I grew up a lot in Singapore, so of course there's Singlish, where we are like yalla, yellow, and things like that. So tell me what Burglish is all about.
So Burglish, I mean, Chris, I talk to you in Burglish all the time, And I think it's kind of like, it's cute, just yalele. There are some words and phrases in Burmese that sound so good, like but in English it just sounds a little bit, I don't know, I can't explain it, right? Like, so even the word amale, right? Like, oh mother, oh my god. But so Burglish is that mainly. It's combining Burmese, our essence, where we grew up, the language, our native tongue, and English, which is more international, and you put it together and you get Burglish. And I've always been speaking Burglish, and so I made this YouTube channel called Kaye Lin Burglish with my cousins, and my cousins, they were born in the United States, and I came to the US when I was 5, but we always try to speak in Myanmar because it's so to lose a language. It's so valuable to know another language, and we didn't want to forget it. So we kept speaking in Burglish when we traveled, and so it became Burglish.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I think, but a lot of the times I find the Myanmar language to be actually quite difficult, right? So for me, I'm not sure if you agree with that.
I do. I agree with you 100%. Chris Gale, it's so chisyale, it's so sweet and so good, And I look at her and I look up to her too, and I'm just saying, my Myanmar has to be as good as hers. Like, she's very polite, but also very, I would say, professional. So when Kyae Mone's I think, people think it's cute, but I'm like, I want to be like very professional. Like, I want people to take me seriously.
No, that's definitely true because I think in Myanmar language, it's so many degrees of what you want to express, and it's very fine and it's very sensitive to the words you choose and what it is. So I mean, I'd love to talk more about that. I want to really learn about how you got acquainted to our language and so much more. So let's take our first break on MI Generation, but stay tuned with us on MI Radio and you wouldn't want to miss the rest of the show. Hey, welcome back to MI Generation. This is Chris for MI Radio, and please stay tuned to us every weekend for our weekend-long, 1-hour-long talk show. And today in my studio is my special guest, Kyae Mone, who is really the darling of our hearts. And Kyae Mone runs the Kyae Mone English and Kyae Mone Burglish shows. Used to be with VOA, now you also do it independently. It's on YouTube and all, so you should check that out. Well, anyway, so we just started out giving introduction of how you got started with the English and Burglish. A little bit taster of what Burglish is. You'll get more to that later. But I also want to ask, what is the origin story there? I mean, did you always think that I'll have this show one day, or how did you, tell us your origin story?
So I accidentally founded Kyae Mone English. I accidentally founded these videos, and I would say it was because of luck, and also grit. My Burmese in the beginning was not good. I couldn't even speak. I couldn't speak a full sentence. And I think I didn't have the habit of speaking. So for VOA, I went to London to see Dawn San Suu Kyi, but it was at this big international press conference in London, and Daw Suu just got out of jail, right?
Wow,
got out
really
of house
exciting.
arrest.
Yeah.
But there are so many other journalists, and so I raised my hand and I was asking her a question about, how does it feel to be out in London and away from home, and what have you learned? She knew I was Burmese, and she said, and I said, oh, okay, I'm gonna try. So auntie, going you there, auntie, and then all of a sudden I just forgot and just started speaking in English because that's what I feel most comfortable with. And then I got scolded in front of all of these press. And so some international journalists, the British ones, were saying, it didn't look very kind. I think she's yelling at you. What did she say?
Oh no.
And it's like senior, so then I said, okay, I really have to be better. And I think in many ways I was, you wouldn't expect to meet your hero like that, but then at the same time I'm glad, because then I think it just pushed me to say, I have to be better at my native language, and that's what she said too.
Well, I think I didn't know that story, and hearing that, I think it would have been a little bit traumatic for a young journalist.
Yeah.
But you've clearly overcome that, and now you've clearly started grasping this language a little bit better. But I think what we also don't know is that language is not a given to everyone, right? And for you especially, can you tell us if Myanmar language was always a part of your upbringing, or have you ever received formal education from Myanmar language?
No. So I left the country. I left Myanmar when I was 5 years old with my family. And in growing up abroad in the United States, there wasn't such a big community of schools or movies or songs, right? So I spoke Burmese at home, but Mamina Babane ole. Oh, Timin Sabibi la Sabibi. Like very colloquial. Did you eat? Yes. Would you eat rice?
Yeah,
absolutely. What are you doing? Homework, like Salonia. So it was very, very basic. And then so when I got to VOA, it was my first real job, right? Like I've done so many other jobs, but it was my first real job, I would say, outside of college. And so I was working with the Burmese service, and they would make fun of me, saying, who's this girl? And I'm just like, and I would speak back in English, I understand everything that you're saying. But then they're like, no, and also this one guy, Ko Chom Lim, he's now a friend, but before I was just no. I said yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So he would make fun of me in Burmese, and I would think about it for 5 or 10 minutes, think about what I'm gonna say to him, and then go back and say blah 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 blah. And he would say, "What are you talking about? Like like you. So I think from that I just wanted to do better, and so I immersed myself. So I listened to YouTube songs like Yele. I don't know, Namatibu Chile. I really like Yele. Hi, if Yele's watching.
Hi, Yele.
And VOA, I'm so indebted to them. They're my real teachers, and I would say that nobody is really like self-made, right? I don't think of myself as, oh, I'm self-taught. Because even though I didn't go to school or got from formal education, I learned from everybody around me. Like I watched my bosses, Tanwintan and Bacho, I called Bacho, like the senior radio journalist, and Auntie Lo, and just really learn from them, Auntie Doris, and I just think, okay, well, they're doing this, so okay, and it's more about effective listening,
right,
rather than just, oh, they said this, right? So even little things that I didn't know, the word due, no, or dia due, or panat due, I learned, okay, people say due, so I'm like, due, that's plural, right?
Like a multiplier.
Multiplier, exactly.
Yeah.
So if I say kwe due, so I'm just like, okay, so I just kept like little things like that. I felt like I was very cognizant of it. Whereas before, I think if, for a regular person, they were just like, oh yeah, like they wouldn't even think about it. But I had to really think about things.
Yeah, well, I think as a Myanmar language learner at a later stage of not adolescent life, I think, because language, I might be wrong with the science of it, but there's a critical window period, right, where language is a lot easier to children or anyone who's learning, and that's why parents also love to expose their children to many languages when they're younger. And I think for any adult learners and anyone who's a little bit beyond that critical window, language always just gets intensified in terms of difficulty.
Yeah.
So I am hearing that you've never had proper education with the language and now being able to spearhead this language sharing show, I think it's a huge feat. Like you have to give that to yourself at least.
Thank you so much, Chris. I will say I do get the negative hate comments from Facebook, but most overwhelmingly, people have been so kind. And I think for me, maybe because they see themselves in me too, right? Like, I'm vulnerable. Like I'm just saying, like, I put myself out there.
Yeah.
Like, right? But I just know I really wanted to learn. And no matter what anybody says, haters gonna hate, right? Like, but I shouldn't let that affect my life. So I knew, okay, it'll be so and I think that many people see that too. And I'm not teaching Myanmar really, but I do practice a lot at home, like by myself, in front of the mirror, or just, look up words I don't know and phrases. But I am teaching English, and I hope that with my videos, my mission really in life is with this Machingo English is to really show the world Myanmar, and in return show Myanmar the world, like to say that little by little, like one can go very far, like whether it be places or language education.
Yeah, well, thanks for sharing your mission. I mean, I can really see that you put yourself out there, and I think it takes a lot of courage to withstand. I mean, I've ever since, even in my personal experience, ever since I started my job as a radio host, I've acknowledged that it takes a lot of self-awareness and a little bit of grit, like you said, to say, hey, it's okay. Like I'm going to share my story. I'm going to share other people's story, but there's bound to be positive and negative feedback, and you have to be ready for that. So I can relate with you on that, and I think I'm glad that there's more cool storytellers like you out there who are actually pushing out the content of Myanmar and to beyond, right? Like to an international audience.
And I will say, Chris, I'm so thankful that I'm here, that you invited me to Myanmar International Radio, because what you're doing is like aligns with my mission in life too. And what you're doing is you're exposing the Myanmar audience to education and to entertainment, right? Yeah. You're really giving such a life and such a voice to the people. And I love hearing you on radio.
Thank you.
And I hear all of her policy speakers and all of these really like big ups, and I'm like, oh, I get to be on it too. So I'm very grateful.
The pleasure is mine. Well, we'll take one break. We'll take a break now on MI Radio, but when we come back, there's going to be lots more about Kyae Mone and her favorite Burglish words, and a lot more about her journey as a journalist as well. So stay tuned to MI Radio. Hey, welcome back to MI Radio. This is Chris for MI Generation, and if you've been here since early in the hour, you'll know that my guest in the studio is Majemo English. Majemo from Majemo English. I put it together as like a branding. But Majemo has been here with me in the studio. We've had this hearty conversation about how she started with her show. Also, a little bit of an introduction about what Burglish is, which is to put Myanmar language and English language together. I think now we're going towards Myanglish or Burglish, or there's a couple names that we can run by. Well, we've talked a little bit about that, but I want to know, since this, when did you start this show? Let's go back to that.
So I started it in 2012, 2013, I would say, and it started off on YouTube. I was just going around with a video camera.
Like a little camcorder?
With a little camcorder, yes. And with my two cousins who were born in the United States, and we went to, out of all places, Coachella, a music festival, but we were talking Burmese and English, and so I'd say, we were wondering, how do you say tip in Burmese? Because we were going to give the waitress a tip. Tip ko mobile, right? Like
mobile, yeah.
Mobile, na?
Yeah.
So little things like that. And then I put the YouTube link on my Facebook, just my personal Facebook, and people started sharing it. So then my boss saw on VOA, and I feel like he knows what's going on, So he said, you should be making videos for us. And I said, no, I'm not good, and I don't think people would want to watch. So he said, just try it out. Give me what you have. Give me 2 or 3 videos, and let's see. So one of my first videos was about, this is how you say what's up. What's up? But balole. What up? Yeah. So in English, it's the slang is, hey, what up? What's up? Like, what's down? And it wasn't textbook English. I wanted to just show people the limits that you can go beyond the limits of textbook or classroom, right? It's just every day what you would see in the world. And then I said, what's piece of cake? It's very easy. So eating a cake and it's a piece of cake. And then ordering coffee, how do you order coffee? And then people started liking it. Yeah. So then I started creating more, and I would say it was very good for me because it was an outlet of creativity, right? So it's, you paint, right? And you do beautiful artwork. And so I always wanted something aside from just work. Yeah. I felt like these videos were my it was my way of creativity. Yeah.
No, that's really cool. I think I guess even in 2013, now vlogging is very popular, right? Yeah. But 2013, I think that was a new thing. It was it was a new genre almost, and that doing that is quite cool. I mean, now I think about it as a young person, it would be so cool to have had this resource where if you were to go abroad or anything, you can't say, how do you do, sir?
Nobody says it anymore. How do you do?
How are you feeling today?
No, it's what's going on.
Right, and exactly what you just said, because in American slang, at least, you can say what's up or what's down, which is very confusing because it's what's up and what's down.
And it means the same thing. It's like, hey, what's going down?
It's just basically tingajin balole, right? Yeah. It's that. So there's so many intricacies to that, and I think that's super interesting. And I wonder, so from 2013 to now, so about 6 years, what are some of your favorite memories with the show? I mean, I think you have had a lot of interesting topics. I mean, I have my favorites. So what's yours?
My favorite was going to Cuba. So I went to Cuba with my 4 black girlfriends, right? And we just decided to just go there, my very good friends. And we went during the time when Fidel Castro died. And the streets just became so quiet, and we thought there was going to be uproar, but there wasn't. And so when I posted up the video of Fidel Castro, and in the United States, I was working for VOA, and it was a little bit controversial because Cuba is a communist country, and VOA, I mean, right now, America just banned American tourists, right, for going into Cuba. And during that time, I thought Cuba was lovely. It was very open, and people were kind. But while the American government wasn't so crazy about Cuba, the Myanmar people loved the program, and they loved Fidel Castro, and they were saying, he's a hero, and it's something so different from what I had always read and learned about Castro. But over here, it's the 88 generation particularly said, we can relate to Castro. He was a poor man's farmer, right? He was a poor man's son. And then he fought for the average Joe and for the poor. So he was a revolter, a revolutionary. So,
Interesting.
And you don't consider, I don't think in America, in the US, they don't consider him as a revolutionary. So I thought it was very interesting. The way two perceptions,
Right.
the West and the East.
And that is something that you wouldn't have known if you wouldn't have put yourself out there for the Myanmar audience, which I think you're quite intentional about. I mean, what do you think about navigating the Western world that you kind of grew up in since you were 5 and the Eastern world, right? Coming back to Myanmar, how do you piece those two worlds, which are both very dear to you? How do you put those two together?
I think that's a very great question, and I still struggle with it. I think it's my identity. I am a hybrid, but I would say I am mainly I'm Myanmar. I'm Myanmar. My parents raised us in the States, but we were raised as Myanmar. We were with American values too, and I will say that I come back here and I'm thankful. I'm thankful for the humility that the characteristic of anade in some ways, right? Sometimes anade can be too much,
Yeah.
But
that's a different topic.
That's a different topic. Not the time. But I feel as if the Myanmar people are very humble, very kind, very giving. We're always rated as number 1 on the world charts, right?
Yeah,
in different organization charts for giving, for generosity. And I think it's just innately within us, right? It's what you see, and so I'm very thankful for that. Coming from the West, I realize how important it is to be outspoken, meaning you have to stand up for what you believe in. And the whole idea of anade comes up again. Sometimes I feel like anade, people take it too extreme in Myanmar, where you just become so modest, you just keep it all in. And that's not good either, because once you keep that all in, where do you let out this frustration, right? I'm certain every day you don't have a great day, but you have an outlet, you have people to talk to, you have your paintings, right? You paint. I have my videos, I have people to talk to. But a lot of the people that I've met, especially particularly young kids, they live a lot. They live with their families in, generations of families under one roof, and they don't have a place to let out their anger. So I see that sometimes when I'm reading posts on Facebook, I'm thinking, oh, this is the way that they're writing out deriving their anger or trying to put out their frustration. And I think hate speech is a problem here, but I don't think, I'm not being so eloquent.
No worries,
I think hate speech is a problem here, but I also think it's because there's no escape for the youth to let it out.
Right, right.
So sometimes I think, do they necessarily mean all of the things that they write? I don't think so. But I think Facebook has been such a big way of communication, and they're just putting things out. So that's how I see the whole.
Right. So for you, there obviously, having both these values, hopefully the best of both worlds that you have in you, I do see there are differences, right? There are elements of being outspoken that are rewarded in a Western society.
Yes.
There are elements of actually being quiet that are rewarded in our communities. In some ways or another. And I think you're right that people, younger people in particular, can benefit a lot from expressing themselves more. Now we've seen that more with different art forms, music.
Yes.
Since you like yele, there's music which allows for this expression, right?
Yes.
And I think that's, in a way, having your platform as a media platform can help there. And even now, I think you're working in a field where you work with communications, right? Have you seen that being able to apply the things that you've learned from abroad back into what you are doing now?
Yes.
Yeah.
So Chris knows so much about my life. So Kyae Mone English I do once a week, twice a week, and I focus solely on the weekends. But my corporate life is I'm working communications for Yoma. And what I'm doing is I realized that they needed a lot of digital media. Like video is a huge part of my life. And video is also a great marketing tool, especially in Myanmar.
It's when everybody is on Facebook, yeah?
Yeah, especially in Myanmar.
Yep.
So I was thinking, like, we have to do more video. So I've taken a lot of my technology like skills from the States to here, and I never want to be a Luddite, right? So like this word Luddite is, you don't want to be so far behind in technology.
Yes.
And so I think from that, like from doing a lot of YouTube, I try to keep up to date with, what the newest equipment, so that Myanmar can have it too.
Yeah.
That we have some things in Myanmar as well. And I see that you're doing a lot of that for MIR. She's on radio, you're on video, and you're doing a lot of social media.
Yeah, I guess we're trying to keep us updated here as well, right? And I feel that it's not just something that is my prerogative, but I think everyone is wanting to move towards that direction.
Yes.
And I think that's important in terms of expression, in terms of technology, in terms of open communication.
Yes.
And I hope, definitely cross fingers, that we're getting there, and more of that, in being able to have these open conversations. I mean, I'm very thankful that you were able to share opinions, and so frankly as well. And I think that's what we need, right? We can't hide behind a opaque glass anymore and things like that. So I think we're ready for it.
Yes.
I think you and I both, and a lot of our peers are ready for it.
Yeah, and another thing that really surprised me about Myanmar coming here, 4G is pretty fast here. Okay, so people don't have broadband at home, but everybody has a mobile phone.
Almost most.
And so I think we're following in the trend of Africa, or I think Kenya, where we might go cashless soon, right? So with all of this mobile payment and so
we're doing a leap,
it's a leapfrog.
Yeah, it's a technology leapfrog.
It really is. So as much as you want to say about Myanmar, maybe we get electricity cuts.
In one thing.
Electricity cuts and blackouts, but people are using their mobile phones for communication and to pay now, right?
Yeah, definitely. So it's really optimistic in a way. I can hear optimism. I think a lot of us are also quite optimistic about where this is going to take us. So, I think it's time now for a break on our show. We'll check out some of the favorite music that we've curated together for you. We'll be back in a short bit. Hey, welcome back to MI Generation. This is Chris for MI Radio, and please, thank you so much for tuning into us every week. With this show, we get to meet very interesting people from all walks of life in Myanmar and beyond. And today in my studio, our guest is Kyae Mone. Kyae Mone is from Kyae Mone English, Kyae Mone Burglish, whichever channel you're going to, Facebook or YouTube. So in the hour, we've had this wonderful conversation about your experience. Growing up, you didn't learn Myanmar language, but then you slowly picked it up again. And it's really impressive to me how much you've grasped the language now. Of course, we'll put that to a quiz later. But just that and the experience of you being abroad for so long, coming back and respecting and understanding the cultural identities that we have here. A lot of self-navigating that I hear, and it's really wonderful to hear your journey. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And Chris, I tell you, I'm just so in awe of you and the things that you do. You grew up in Singapore, you're Myanmar like me, and you keep both cultures alive, and you're a hybrid, and you're doing so much for your native country. So I think that you and we still have so much work to do and together.
Yeah. And I'm always happy to have this opportunity to collaborate and things like that. And so you've said a lot of top praises about me, and now I have to live up to that.
Yes.
Well, that is one thing.
You're already doing it.
Yeah, and just before we went for a break, we had this really, really interesting conversation. We didn't even plan for this, or didn't even think that we'll get here, but the intricacies of language, right? And how that transcends to cultural norms, and how that put together makes things a little bit complicated or interesting when it comes to working environments and things like that. So we had. Do you think that it's also had how Myanmar language has also helped you in your working environment?
I would say it has a lot. I feel that Myanmar language is also very endearing, and you get closer to people. So working wise, I consider my colleagues as family. Sometimes you say uncle because you respect them. So Uncle Serge, in an endearing way, everybody calls him uncle, the chairman. because it's just endearing and we really respect him. Or my colleague, like Thierry, I really care about her. I work really closely with her. So she calls me Ama, I call her Nima, just because we feel like family. Yeah. My neighbors, Apwa, and because of that, I want to say, she's like my grandma. So you would just give her Apwa meaning grandma. You would go to the store and I say, what does Apwa? Maybe Apwa needs this, So you just kind of think of these things because it's just very family oriented, the linguistics of it.
Yeah, so even though there are limitations, like we've obviously discussed, there is always a immediate community that comes with the Myanmar language. Is that you can be, this is what I used to say, was for friends who were wondering what Myanmar is like or what is, I was like, well, this is the one country you can get lost anywhere in the country and ask for directions. Sometimes they bring you to your destination.
Yes.
Follow my cow truck. Yeah. Follow my tractor. I'll bring you to the end of the village. Yeah. That's the kind of friendliness that we have, and I think definitely the language has to play with it because immediately you are brothers and sisters with the next person that you meet, the strangers. And there is an instant bond there. So I will definitely agree to that.
Yes.
Yeah. So enough about those language intricacies. Now to put your language to a test.
Oh man.
So I did a brainstorming with our cameraman on set. We did a brainstorming on a list of Banzaga. So Banzaga is the slang language of Myanmar, right? How you call slang, how we talk about dude or whatnot in American slang. We also have that in Myanmar language. So there's Banzagas, right? A lot of Banzaga that they say on the streets. So here's a list of words, and I will say the Myanmar word, and you will have to guess the meaning of it.
Okay, sounds good. I think I can take you on. Yes.
Ready?
You
ready? Okay.
Ready.
So this is the first one. Kui.
Kui.
Yes.
I know kui. So kui means a koi. Kui for short. So kui is just like a cute way of saying a koi, meaning big brother, but it's used for your chit, your love, right? So your boyfriend. Kui, right? No?
That's right. I think that's you got the right one on that one. Kui. So Majemo one. Okay, the next one. Bear.
Duck. Wait, I know.
Yes.
Bear. How's your bear? Bear. Like it's like in American slang we say bae, B-A-E. Bae.
Yeah.
That's my bae. That's my baby.
Yes, bear. It is. So it's like, but it's gendered, right? So it's a male.
It's only for the male?
It's only for the male.
Oh, so you say that's my bear, that's my duck meat.
Yes. Yes, Majemo is right too. Well, good. And okay. What is saw?
Sobwa. Shan. Oh, in the Shan culture, Sobwa is like a queen. Sobwa.
No. So when we have bear, which is like the male version of it, saw is the female version of it. So it's so you refer it to as your girlfriend. It could be your girlfriend, but it's a bit more slang. So like me saw. So your girlfriend.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your saw.
Yeah. To know is saw. I think people maybe don't say it. I don't know since I don't have a saw.
Okay, so Chris won. I mean, not Chris won, but Majemo still has two, right?
Majemo only still has two. Okay. Well, okay, this one's a little bit more recent. I've got it from my camera crew. What is 张标的?
You lost your cat.
You lost your cat. But what is 张标的?
You lost your girlfriend or you lost your man? No. 张标的. This sounds so wrong.
Bruno Mars will be proud. Like when I was her man and now I'm not, so I lost my man. No, so 张标的 means to be kind of like to be lost in your way. Like kind of be like in a crisis, like an existential crisis, like 降到撇到啊，我要降掉啊。
Okay.
降到 mountain. Okay. 降掉的 is kind of like 降到撇到啊。
这卡里张标你，什么？
How dare? I think that's right. Good usage. See, it's a very educational show.
Yes. Still two.
How dare? Okay, the next one is 编误. So 定义这面编误骗你的不？编误.
Okay, use it again. Say it.
编误.
And use it in a sentence again.
Use it in a sentence. 哈呢你没看我的社交媒体啦，都直接把编误骗你的路了。
Bing means it's kind of another way of saying 张东 down. She's kind of like like in her dilly dally, like she's dilly dally.
Oh,
no?
okay. Maybe I used it wrong.
No,
or like
no. Maybe,
in
I
a.
think I'm using it.
Okay, well, the gist of it is like to describe someone who's a pena. Pena.
Pena, so pena.
Well,
Skinny?
No. Pena is like dense. To be a bit dense or dumb.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a rough one.
So
Yeah.
I was thinking you were saying like pena, like skinny egg. Pena.
No, pena means pena is actually taro. Right?
Oh.
Taro or
Taro root. Okay.
yeah,
okay,
so
okay.
peng is actually, it is a vocabulary, but
Okay.
when you refer someone to as peng this sounds a little bit,
It's like
a little bit slow, a little bit dense,
Thick in the head,
a little
yeah,
bit, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, all right.
Got it.
Not bad. So far, so good. And then the other one is go chao go dong.
90s. Go chow go dong. 96, 93.
Okay, use it in a sentence.
Okay. I don't know if this is gonna make it on there, but I'm thinking of really bad things.
I don't know what you're thinking of. Okay, here's a sentence to put you back on track. Is တကယ်ချင်းဒီနေ့ဘယ်လိုလာမှာလဲ
ကိုချောင်းကိုတုံး
studio ဘယ်လိုလုပ်မှာလဲလာမှာလဲကိုချောက်ကိုတုံး
They're gonna come by themselves with their go chow go dong. It's kind of like with their feet and fingers.
Partially right?
Yeah.
ကိုချောက်ကိုတုံး
ကိုလာမှာ
ကိုချောက်ကိုတုံး
Oh, okay.
So ကိုချောက်ကိုတုံးမျိုးလာမှာ
Okay.
ကိုချောက်ကိုတုံးဆို
Okay, go cheat out. With your feet, you're gonna come.
Yeah, so ကိုချောက်ကိုတုံး
But you got my other meaning, right?
All right, so I think this is the last one. ဦးကြောက်ဦးကျကူလားဟလားခုနကပြောရလဲဦးကျကူ
Ujugu. It just Ujugu just sounds like uchanchang lomyo.
Yeah, correct!
Yeah.
And that was the end of our quiz.
So
Good
happy.
job.
I think I got half right. 50%.
Not bad. So there's more that we can do with that. More learning to be done with the bansaga. So that was a good test. I think you've got so not bad. I mean, there's more to come. You've only been here for a while, so there's more years that you're here.
Yeah.
More bansaga that will be in your. Well, with that, I think we're about to come to the end of our show. I just want to give you some time to have any ending remarks that you wanna share with our audience out there.
I just wanted to say that I hope that from my show, from my Burglish programs, I hope that people get a sense to dream. And that's mainly why I do these videos, because little by little, one gets far, and little by little, I got far. Not thinking that I would, making these programs and making these videos. I never thought that my Burmese could get so much better, but I'm reading, I'm writing, I'm typing it, and I'm traveling. And I never thought I'd be able to go to Greece, to go to Cuba, Italy, Myanmar, and to be back amongst my people, And I think if you believe in yourself and you have these dreams, you can achieve anything, but you have to dream. So that's what I want to say.
So keep dreaming is what we're saying,
Keep dreaming, dreamers.
Goosebumps. So yeah, thank you so much. I think those words will ring true to a lot of us. A lot of our audience are pretty young, so you get, you have Majemu's vote of confidence that you can get wherever you want it and dream to be. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Yes, and you've been dreaming. You dream so much, and look at you, dreamer. So what's your dream?
My dream. Putting me on the spot on my own show. No, I think I always there's one thing I always live by is that we gotta be the best version of ourselves and always to contribute skillfully to the world.
I love
that. I always aspire to contribute skillfully. Because my skill sets are also always evolving and changing. For now, I want to use my show as a medium to, promote the voices that could be heard, stories that could be heard. So I'm still dreaming on that. But of course, one day my dream is to create a very wonderful school or education product. And I think I have a lot more to do with that.
And I think, darling, I think you're doing so much. You're making a lot of our dreams come true. So I think working as sisters, working, in the sisterhood, this friendship, I think we'll get far.
Thank you for your kind words.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, so I think we've reached the end of our show for today. Make sure to stay tuned to MI Radio every week. And of course, just keep that on your card. Just tune to us, just stream us, because we've got the best music in Myanmar and anywhere. And we are always here for you. So stay tuned and make sure to tune in next week as well. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.